Madam Speaker, last week the Premier sent a letter to the Prime Minister outlining priorities for the province that require federal partnership. Unfortunately, the thousands of Nova Scotians who use birth control, diabetes medication and devices didn't quite make the Premier's list. While people in other provinces can access the health care they need free of charge, the government is making Nova Scotians pay directly through expensive copays for their medications. At a time of increased financial insecurity, why isn't this government taking the money on the table and getting Nova Scotians a break on medication costs?
I recognize the Honourable Premier.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Speaker. And indeed, I sent that letter to two party leaders, the two party leaders that have a potential to be Prime Minister of the country. I sent that to the Liberal Party and to the Conservative Party and outlined their priorities for Nova Scotians. Building the economy, creating jobs, getting us to a better place. There are other issues that the province is working on with the federal government. We did a deal a couple of weeks ago for rare disease medication. We'll continue to work with the federal government. If the deal works for Nova Scotians, it works for us. We just need to make sure we get the right deal, Madam Speaker.
I recognize the Honourable Leader for the Official Opposition.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. There's a third federal party that got pharmacare passed for all Canadians, and yet this Premier has dragged his feet on taking the money that's on the table, and Nova Scotians are paying the price. Diabetes medication isn't a luxury item for thousands of Nova Scotians who rely on it, and copays can be thousands of dollars. Barrier-free birth control gives women and gender-diverse people options about their bodily autonomy and their health, especially when they find themselves in controlling relationships. The Premier is denying the people of this province free medication. What does he have to say to the people who are paying out of pocket for medication when they don't have to?
I recognize the Honourable Premier.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And I did send the letter to the people who have the potential to be the Prime Minister of the country. Those are the ones we wanted to focus on. I would just say to the member that, we as a government, we have a responsibility to Nova Scotians. We have a responsibility to make sure it's the right deal, because we have seen also what happens when the wrong deal is signed. And members of this House will remember the Liberal government on the eve of an election signing a child care deal. We're still trying to clean that mess up, Madam Speaker. We have to make sure it's the right deal for Nova Scotians. We're doing that. We will continue to do that work. We'll try to clean up the rank in government child care mess as well. That's an awful shame, Madam Speaker. We can't make the same mistake as they did.
Just a reminder, we can't say members' names who are still sitting in the House. I recognize the Honourable Leader of the Official Opposition.
Madam Speaker, cheap shots at the federal parties doesn't change the fact that the window for securing free diabetes and birth control for the people in this province has likely closed. BC made contraception free years ago and signed a pharmacare deal 6 months ago to get the money on the table. Manitoba and PEI have signed since then, and every week that goes by without a deal means Nova Scotians are paying out of pocket. The Premier has been to Ottawa 3 times this session. Why couldn't he find time to sign on the dotted line and get free medication for Nova Scotians?
I recognize the Honourable Premier.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. How socialist to just say, take the deal, take the deal. Madam Speaker, we have a responsibility to Nova Scotians to make sure that we get the right deal. We led the way on diabetes and providing care for those living with diabetes. We're leading the way on the health care file in general. Incredible progress we're making, Madam Speaker. We want to make sure that it is the right deal for Nova Scotians, that it's a deal that's sustainable for Nova Scotians, and we will not look away from our obligation to Nova Scotians, Madam Speaker. We will do what is necessary. We will continue to do that. Thank you, Madam Speaker.